What's going on, guys? It's Frito here for your Overwatch. I'm hoping we get some updates in Overwatch 2's beta. New content would be nice, but at least them attempting some balance so we have new things to try out, because some of the mismatches in the game are pretty obvious right now. The one that I'm going to easily point out that I think everyone would agree with is that Soldier is way too easy. He gets angles really fast, and with not having any spread on his weapon, which I kind of miss now in this game, he can fire at range, mop the floor with everything, and then Sights does the same thing. Way too many strengths all in one character. It's easy to see that Blizzard should nerf him in one or many ways, possibly. It would be nice for him to be a stable, reliable pick, but not on top. I'm fine with him being in a similar place as he was in most of Overwatch 1's life. Playable, not elite. He is one of the easiest characters in the game, after all. I think once they deal with Soldier, you may start to feel that supports are a bit stronger than you think. The one we're worried about the most right now is Zenyatta. And I'd say Zen's gonna have a few problems facing him in Overwatch 2. Although he is very good on Circuit Royale, a map where there is a big, long path to get to the defending team, Zenyatta can find his comfort zone way in the back and isolate the threat angles and flanks. Conversely, a game mode like Push, not only are the maps porous, but it's almost designed for there to be hectic, traded out fights where you get in like a 2v2, and Zen's not the elite character at that game style. It'll be tough for him to be a meta support on that mode, in my opinion, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. My more serious one, though, is that I think if I had to take a guess, other than Soldier, there is one character in the entire game that is steamrolling the opposition, that is actually gatekeeping most of the support class from feeling playable. This one character does everything that you want an Overwatch character to be able to do. Self-sufficient, duel, and help with the team. Yes, I almost can't believe it myself that I have to say this. Lucio is massively overpowered in Overwatch 2. Believe me, it pains me to say it, because I've wanted him to be good for so long. I think the game is more fun when he's good. But the truth is, I think the map design of Overwatch 2 would make him good regardless. It was so fun picking up Overwatch 2 for the first time and noticing how the maps were built. It's a Lucio playground. And secretly, you may not even notice it being the reason why, but speed boosting your team around is another reason why slower supports will always feel like they're overwhelmed, because you literally can't do anything about that. All the smart positioning in the world can't beat a bit of teamwork from the enemy team using speed boost against you. So many games have I played where I tried to play a slow support line, and if the enemy has a Lucio, we just easily lose all the time. We can't even play the game. This is true on the entire game, but specifically the push game mode, where because of the tug-of-war nature of it, there's a lot of stagger fights you can take, and if you have a Lucio, your respawns will come back faster, and you can overwhelm and outmatch their staggered respawns, meaning you can fight with a man advantage almost all the time, and regrouping feels almost impossible. Any other hero that you think is too strong that it's clowning you as a support, I think if Lucio's speed boost wasn't as intense, you might feel you can outposition it like you're supposed to be able to, in a more fair way. Another thing they could do is, since he's going to get the 1 second out of combat self-heal anyway, does he really need other self-heal? Or at least as much? Because it's quite unfair that other supports badly need cover to hide around to really maximize the self-heal, but Lucio's so hard to hit that just by wall riding and bouncing, he's going to be able to activate it all the time. I think it's kind of cool the way supports like Ana and Zen can wiggle around cover to heal themselves up and then go back into the fight. But Lucio doesn't feel like he's playing by those rules. And remember, getting hit interrupts that self-heal. So if you don't think Lucio's the problem here, believe me, them just getting more angles on you just a little bit too much means you don't have the opportunity as an immobile support to really get much out of that self-heal. The gas pedal of the game is pressing on you. And while all flankers might feel annoying in this way, I think it's safe to say Lucio is the one who is better at it than he should be. It's not like Genji heals himself, right? I think if you start to do the math of how Overwatch 2 is panning out, it's not so ridiculous. Like, we were all very surprised that Soldier was the S-tier pick he became, and the reason is the way the map design and single tank plays. Well, in the same way, Lucio had been buffed to try to compete in the RPG team builder comps of Overwatch 1. They allowed him to duel, be the best speed team facilitator, and also have a lot of knockback plays. The truth is, in Overwatch 2, because there isn't stuns, one of the strongest utility in the game that there's left is knockbacks and mobility, and Lucio has both. The mobility helps you get in and out of your own cover, and booping the enemy away from their cover marks them for death. Even if Lucio's team aspects were weaker, that alone would be a very deathmatchy, fraggy playstyle that I think Overwatch 2 is going for. Another thing to remember, that Lucio was very meta early Overwatch 1 as well, and a lot of Overwatch 2's gameplay reminds of the early years of the first game. But back then, Lucio was much less threatening, almost like comically so. It was very difficult to secure any kill or duel as Lucio, but he was much more forgiving when it came to his teamwork. His aura was like map wide, basically. But over the years, they made him a lot more fun to play by speeding up his mobility, letting you bounce off walls more easily and go take duels. My vote would be, let's keep that and reduce his smothering effect in the team play. You might worry that rushdown tanks like Reinhardt might become unplayable if Lucio's speed wasn't as good, but in my opinion, Overwatch 2's brilliance is that because they have isolated the rules of the game and there's only one tank, well, you can just keep giving Rein stats to outdo that. The problem with Overwatch 1's design, buffing or nerfing one character in this way had way too many knock-on effects. If speed boost was less intense, maybe just give Rein a little more shields back, and then he can close the distance and do everything he needs to do. The tank role is so strong, and a lot of them are so competitive that I don't think we have to worry about supports being the determining factor of what tank gets played. It's more so all the other strengths of Lucio that I'm finding so oppressive. Like, an easy way to think of it is like, if they have speed, they have more teamwork than you. They have more teammates in key fights than you can have. Fights that are just always going to exist in Overwatch 2, in the fluid gameplay it has. I think once this happens, slower characters should be able to get a sense of the speed of the game a bit more. And in the gameplay, if you've been paying attention, how many times have I been able to play both ends of the team fight as Lucio? Two slow supports just can't do this. And I'm certain, after putting a lot of time into the support class, that it is so difficult to play without a Lucio on your team that I'm willing to say that as players have figured out the maps, team comps, and the way to play Overwatch 2 a bit more, Lucio is very clearly not just an S tier pick, he's like a multi-S pick. He's a must pick. Not only does he do his job well, he does any job well. I don't think he's the character on the tip of everyone's tongue saying he's clearly overpowered, but if you really look at the team fights you're losing, how much of it is because Lucio gets to have his cake and eat it too with his positioning, where there's not really a cost for him to go aggressive because his mobility makes it so easy for him to be able to peel back when he needs to. Because Lucio is both the best diver and protector, and he has the speed to transition between both, his gameplay is crucial to set up limbs on the enemy's backline and then come back and save your own, surviving because he's so hard to hit in the middle of all of that. Whereas in a lot of cases, I think if you're not against him and the speed of the characters is more one-to-one, then other support matchups feel okay, and you have more fair fights. But once the enemy has a Lucio, it's like they always have that little bit extra of teamwork that you can't have. Because in my opinion, with the porous maps and one tank, the game's gonna feel fast regardless. Like, we don't need pedal to the metal speed for the game to be fun. It's gonna be fun anyway. If that were to get toned back a bit, I think you'd be surprised how much more manageable a lot of the other heroes you think are problematic actually would be. Because at the moment, if I try to advise having really strict discipline on the positions and cover you use, well, Lucio speed boost breaks it anyway. You'll go in and out and just run over your team all the time. So much so that I think instead of trying to play slow ever, you should just mirror it. And these conversations are going to continue with this game, I'm almost certain. It was a bit surprising to me what heroes cropped up from the roster to be obviously gatekeeping a lot of others. And with the format of the game looking to remain in what I like to call a free pick, well, I think there's going to be a lot of cases in Overwatch 2's life where you're going to be free to pick and swap to any bad hero you want. And you're free to lose on immobile heroes if you choose to. If only there was any way the format could be improved. Nah, it can't be. It's not possible. What I think is going to be a really good test of it, I think, is the opening weekend of Overwatch League. I'm going to go ahead and bet that Lucio has a massively high pick rate on all the maps, bar possibly someone tries a Zen style comp on Circuit Royale. Otherwise, the Lucio gap is going to be massive because he is the facilitator of all the team play and has a high mechanical skill ceiling. I can't wait to watch it personally. Remember, balance isn't the most important thing, all right? Fun is. So I guess we're going to let the Lucio players have a moment to shine. I wish ranked was out and take advantage of one of my best heroes being top of the meta. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Excited to read what you think about the game. If you want to tune in to more videos that we'll have covering Overwatch 2, plenty more guides, breakdowns, news, and meta discussion style videos like this one, don't miss out on them. Click the bell icon next to the subscribe button so you get notifications sent directly to your cell phone. It's like I'm sliding directly into your DMs. That's been it for me. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.